Hello and welcome to Middle School Engineering. Earlier this week, we talked about what engineers do. We talked about major engineering fields, and we talked about the disciplines and things that engineers do. And to be honest, it all sounds pretty complicated and involved. However, engineers use skills which most of us possess. And today I want to talk about engineering skills and where they start. We have all seen and enjoyed the results of the skills of a talented engineer. Whether it is bridges and architectural designs from civil engineers, to life-saving vaccines from biomedical engineers, to robots that can teach a student how to read and write, or automobiles which exceed all expectations of speed and precision. We can travel to space, make TikTok videos, and we enjoy an abundance of food because of the work that engineers do. However, the skills that pull all their engineering knowledge together and make them successful problem solvers are also skills that we as humans possess. You may be saying, Ms. Purvis, I don't have any engineering skills, but I think that you do. And I think that we all possess skills which can be used to engineer or design and come up with solutions in our world. So I want you to think for a minute about skills that you have that might also be skills that engineers have. Please go to Google Classroom if you have not already and open the digital worksheet for today's assignment. As part of today's assignment, we are going to be creating a resume. In our last lesson, you made a college recruitment poster, recruiting someone for a field of engineering that you found to be interesting. And this allowed you the opportunity to explore that field and learn more about it. Today, I am going to ask you to complete a resume. A resume is a document which details your skills, experience, and education as it pertains to getting a job or getting into a college. Many of you will be writing letters in a few years with these kind of things in them, trying to get scholarships and be accepted to a college or university of your choice. Today we are going to practice that skill of completing a resume, and we're going to do it in the context of engineering skills. So if you will go to the section that says your engineering resume, we're going to begin completing this. Many of you may also say, Ms. Purvis, I have no intention of becoming an engineer or attending an engineering school. And so I understand that fully, but I'm going to ask you to think in a what if. If you were to do that, what would be your choice of engineering field, and what skills would you have that would apply to that? The first section of your resume is going to be your name. You're simply going to type your name in. The second part of your resume is going to involve your engineering interests. So, considering the kinds of engineers that we studied earlier this week, jot down a couple types of those engineers. Which ones would be most appealing to you? For me, I feel like software engineering because I enjoy coding, and mechanical engineering or civil engineering because I very much enjoy mechanical devices, and I also really enjoy sketching and drawing. For part 3 of your resume, you're going to list your best subjects in school. My best subjects in school have always been science, history, and writing. Kind of a funny combination for someone who's interested in engineering, or maybe not. Those are all skills which could definitely benefit in an engineering career. The next part is a part I want you to really think about, and that is your skills. What are the skills that you have? I jotted down a few that I have. I'm good at communication. I'm resourceful. I'm good at organization, I have a lot of creativity. I was great at chemistry in college. I like drawing and sketching, and I'm very determined when it comes to finding solutions. Some of you may be excellent at following step-by-step instructions. Some of you may have an inquiring mind, meaning that you always ask questions, sometimes too soon. Maybe those are going to be skills that you have. Maybe you never met a stranger and you love to talk to people. Or maybe you're very quiet and you listen well. Those are all skills. So these aren't skills so much as related to school as they are skills that are related to life. What life skills do you have that help you and that benefit you? Take a moment and type those in. Then complete part 5 of your resume. Most colleges are looking for people who are engaged in their community and willing to help. And so I want you to think about ways that you have helped your community. The things that I put here are things such as volunteering at a homeless shelter, political involvement for immigration reform, and growing food in the community garden for food banks. Those are some of the things that I do to contribute to the community. Now, I understand that most of you don't have a driver's license, and that makes it a little more complicated to go and do things. But have you helped your community in other ways? Have you brought food to a neighbor or a friend in need? Or did you watch a friend's siblings? Or maybe you watch your own siblings. There's a lot of ways that you can contribute to your community. So nothing is too small. The last part of the resume is your dream of changing the world. We all have a dream for changing the world. Mine is that I want to find a way to help people that are in poverty to find jobs that pay enough for them to provide for their families. And I dream of teaching skills to you guys, my students, so that you can grow up to change the world when I'm old. What is your dream of changing the world? We all complain from time to time about how things are, but I believe that we all have an idea of what we want to do to change the world as well. And every good engineer needs to be good at identifying problems, but then also good at identifying solutions. If you need to pause the video at this time and finish your resume, you can do so. I am going to move on, and I'm going to go over the last part of our assignment for class today. And that is coronavirus, which is the whole reason we're doing eSchool, is the greatest problem of our time. It's closed down economies all over the world, and it is sickening people and causing many deaths. Aside from that, it has everyone else in quarantine. So I want us to think, how can each type of engineer help handle the crisis? Your independent practice activity is going to be to write down at least one way that each type of engineer that we learned about on Tuesday can help to contribute to solutions for the coronavirus problem. I've provided a couple of examples here on the screen. One example is that a mechanical engineer could design ways to restructure existing manufacturing plants to produce much-needed ventilators and respirators. For each type of engineering, there are many ways in which they could contribute and are contributing to help with the coronavirus. Another example would be a software engineer. And they could develop an app that tracks the daily temperature of everyone in order to gain insight into the spread of the virus. The remainder of your time today should be spent finishing this chart. The very last item on the chart says me, because I want us to all think of a contribution that we can make to bettering our community during this difficult time. And it might be as simple as calling a friend or checking in on an older family member that we know live by themselves. So please take your time, finish this up, And remember, once you've completed your digital worksheet for the day, you are finished with this week's work and you will need to submit it through Google Classroom. I hope you have a great day and good luck.